and then we do the separation. That separation produces PRP, fat cells, and stem cells. Sometimes we use the PRP for injections on the face, including the fat, and the stem cells for injections to where there is pain. Then we have umbilical stem cells as an injection, mostly into the areas where there is pain. But today we are also introducing a patch that activates your stem cells. So we're going to watch a couple of videos that will set the overall conversation, and then we will have a discussion and just take questions and answers from there, okay? So let's go with the first introductory video. This video is a video that was on PBS. We know what PBS is, right? What is it? Luis, what is the PBS?
Broadcasting
Service. What, for China? No, for the US. That was a geography test. Thanks, Luis. Let's go. So it was aired July 2009, so 10 years ago. I want to give context.
And welcome to the American Health Journal's special report on discoveries in alternative medicine. Science has proven that the human body is naturally designed to exist in excellent health. Some say we have built within us every mechanism necessary to support that state. The keys to achieving these higher levels of health are found in discovering how to activate the remarkable healing powers already resident within all of us. Today, we investigate a new technology called Lifewave.
What if we had a way of wirelessly communicating with the human body to improve energy levels? So I began a private study over the course of 3 years, and what resulted was a Lifewave prototype patch. Instead of using drugs, stimulants, or nutrients to improve energy flow, energy production, and communication, we are using a more natural principle. As an example, we go out in the sun, and a frequency of light, UV light, will cause our body to have a tan. So Lifewave technology is about stimulating acupuncture points in the body without needles, using different frequencies of energy for producing beneficial changes within the cell. So it's very much the same as we go out in the sun and a frequency of light will cause our body to make vitamin D. This is just based on the principle that we can use other frequencies of light to cause other changes within the body.
So what the Lifewave patches do, they take advantage of that information system that we have, and through the ingredients that are in the patches, they actually reflect frequencies of light. Everything's energy. So our bodies are energy. I mean, even solid materials energy. So the frequency of light is a form of energy, and it communicates through those acupuncture channels, and it amplifies the effect of whatever the patch is, whatever message the patch is sending. So different patches send different signals based on the frequency.
One of the things I'm most proud of is the extent to which we pursue clinical research and conduct our clinical research. We've been doing this since 2002, and we have multiple double-blind, placebo-controlled studies using various diagnostic techniques to show that Lifewave is a legitimate phenomenon. Some of the research studies that we have done include blood analysis, urine tests, capnometer tests, which show increased levels of energy production from the body. We have done heart rate variability studies to show that the products are safe for the human heart. We have done tissue conductivity studies to show that these patches do in fact stimulate acupuncture points. We've also done medical infrared imaging studies to show the thermal effects of the patches. So the scientific that this is in fact legitimate is quite expansive.
Now with a report on pain management, here's our reporter, Laura Windsor.
As the development of Lifewave technology progressed, Medical Director Dr. Steve Haltiwanger explains how they have discovered applications in the management of pain.
What I've seen is that this technology can have very rapid and effective pain control. And what we're doing is we've learned that the body's skin is electrically sensitive. And so there are different points on the skin that are more conductive than others that are known as acupuncture points. And when we have tested the patches with electronic diagnostic equipment, we can find that putting patches in proximity to each other, close together, we see that we can actually measure a change in skin potential or skin conductance. Both of them change. So what we see is we immediately change, in a sense, the field of the area, the electrical properties of the area, and it's very rapid. And so by putting the patches on an area of pain, we can do this, and it's a very rapid form of application, and people can have very immediate responses. So if somebody has a sprained ankle in a football game, you literally can put patches on, and sometimes in 30 to 40 seconds, they notice that the pain is just diminished significantly, sometimes gone.
42 years ago, Don Collins was severely wounded in combat in Vietnam. After enduring countless surgeries, he lived the last 4 decades on painkillers until he was exposed to this technology.
Within 3 minutes, I was from a 10 to a 1 with the patches. And being on drugs as long as I have every day for 42 years. I was taking morphine every 6 minutes. All I had to do was push the button. Every hour on the hour, they bring in another cc of morphine. Every 2 hours, they bring in another morphine, and they would also bring in 3 Percocets. Nothing was even scratching the surface as far as the pain. Lifewave is the first thing in 42 years that has been able to stop the pain without a narcotic. And there's nothing that goes into the body. I mean, it's a miraculous. It's the most wonderful thing I've had in 42 years.
We all know that stresses and injuries are generally from activities, but unfortunately, we see, even at the high performance level, there are stresses and injuries to muscular function that have nothing to do with their activity, but instead are created from an internalized emotion and distress, which then is expressed in the musculoskeletal system. The Lifewave patches, when applied correctly, will actually interrupt the internalization of that stress to the muscles, which then resets them. So the right application, you can actually reset a muscular complaint, a muscle weakness, if you will, back to normal with the simple application of the patches.
But can this technology help on an everyday level? We talked with Dr. Thomas Budzinski, an associate professor at Washington State University in Seattle, about his research.
We were intrigued with the fact that reports were coming in on the patches reducing the stresses of everyday life. And so we carried the study out with an N of 20 in each group. With a double-blind study, they gave us placebo patches. The experimenter not knowing which patch he was putting on. We made measures of heart rate variability, which has a component called very low frequency, and it decreased. Now that's good because VLF, as it's called, goes up under stress and anxiety. With the patches, it went down. With the placebos, it did not go down. That was good. Another thing we measured was brainwave activity, and the patches produce more alpha. Now, more alpha is identified with people who are more relaxed, people who meditate, that sort of thing.
We studied 7 organs. We studied the liver, the gallbladder, the small intestine, the large intestine, the adrenal glands, the hypothalamus, the pituitary, the gallbladder. The people in the study wore the patches 7 days a week for 12 hours a day. Each client was measured at weekly intervals to see their organ function at the cellular level as well as their organ function at the organ level. We noticed that in all patients we had a highly significant statistically increasing function in all of the major organs that we'd studied.
Before, my life was just trying to get by, trying to find a way to get through the day, because by the time I got home I was so ready to just hit the couch. That was always my comment. Now I have plenty of energy. We go and we do, and I work all day long, and I still have plenty of energy. As a chiropractor, there's times that you have patients that don't respond, or they don't respond as well as other people do to your care. And the majority of the time it's because of the toxic load on the body. The body's meant to be a self-healing organism. But if you have so many toxins the body is having difficulty dealing with, that if you can reduce the toxic load, the body will then respond with more ease. So it's been great because the patients think that you're the smartest person on earth because all of a sudden everything you do works. We kept thinking at the time, we thought, oh wow, if people get out of pain and have all these problems cured, what's that going to do to my practice? It's going to destroy practice. And instead, we get phone calls now from people calling and saying, oh, I understand you're the doctor that can fix anything.
I am constantly pursuing research and development of new embodiments of Lifewave technology, and my passion is in the field of anti-aging. I think some of the things that we have to look forward to is new and better ways of stimulating energy flow through the body for improving our health and dramatically extending lifespan.
Thank you for joining us for the American Health Journal Special Report, Discoveries in Alternative Medicine.
Well, what happened to her? She's in the bathroom, so we wait. So stop, we wait. Let her come out. The outside door, yeah. Open it. Oh, okay. Yara, how many people RSVP? Nobody? Really? Oh, really? Okay, so try and message all of them to come on Saturday if possible, okay? We finished the video without you. It's okay. So, we're going to talk about the different places. Do you want to move to the front a bit? You're sitting so far from me. Come sit here. Here. Sit here. So we're going to play the next video, and it's going to, can we move to the next video? It's going to begin to explore where we actually put the patches. So this video is going to talk about pain. So we're going to look at where we apply the patches. So it's very important to pay attention in this video. Okay, let's go.
Hey, hi there, and thank you very much for watching this video. My name is Gabriel Diaz, and I will be presenting this new Dealing with Pain Patching Technique series. But before we move into the actual techniques of this video, let me just share something that I personally find very interesting. For the past 3 years, we have been collecting several thousand comments from everyone, and to a very specific question, over 90% of answers were some kind of variation of this. I like to learn more, and I like to help others. Isn't that really remarkable? Several thousands who agree in two great human areas, growth and contribution. In short, looking to be better, to give more to others. Not only interesting, but I find it an outstanding result, isn't it? Now, there is another part of it. Close to 90% of those who answered our questions, they also told us that they struggle in the areas of how to actually patch very specific cases. And most of the cases they mentioned were related to pain. And that's very interesting. So the team and I decided to do something about it and create two things. Number one, a place for everyone to access at any time at no cost. And number two, at that place we will share the most basic concepts and techniques we've been using so anyone could deal with pain more effectively. Sounds good? So that's what actually Dealing with Pain Patching Technique series is. And right now at part 1 of the series we will cover 7 initial techniques. It will be important for you to take note of this though. If you were a member of our advanced protocols area before, you are already familiar with all these techniques. However, you can always review them. Lastly, if you have any question related to the techniques we are including here, please use the comment box below. In that way, everyone will benefit from your question and our answers. Very well then. I will leave you now with Dealing with Pain Patching Techniques Part 1, and I will be back on Part 2. Enjoy.
Hi, and welcome to Patching Protocol video series. This first video will cover a large subject, and that is dealing with pain. If you have watched our first video series, The Lifewave Journey, you may have by now a better understanding of the few basic principles of Lifewave patches and how we could initiate a correction to our imbalances. In other words, attempt to reverse our current state of discomfort. As we all know, pain is definitely a state of discomfort that we would all like to manage more efficiently. This particular video will deal specifically with pain management by outlining simple concepts and different approaches to various cases and possible scenarios. Let's get started then. As we could see on video number 3, in cases of general pain, like back pain for example, we could place an Icewave tan or negative patch directly to the point of pain. It was also said that the Icewave white or positive patch could be placed, for example, at the sternum. That approach is helpful in some cases, but what could we do if the level of pain does not change with those placements?
Stop.
Finding the right direction.
So it's very important, right, that even though they say you can place the patch anywhere, the patching protocols tell you specifically where they have found out it works for a number of people using those meridian points. Those meridian points are those acupuncture points. In that paper that I just gave you, you see they've identified some of them. So those points that they're going to be talking is on that diagram. The main ones, not all of them. If you look at acupuncture diagrams for the meridians, there are many of them, but they choose specific points here that they're going to talk about. So I know you have that shoulder pain, so I want you to pay specific attention and see what they're talking. Pain is the big area. When I go to Vietnam, this is really what I'm going to focus, because the biggest challenge in Vietnam is low back pain. That's their biggest challenge. I don't know why that is, right? Vietnamese people, I don't know why that is, but that is a very big issue in Vietnam, low back pain. So let's look at that. So they're going to be measuring everything and telling you the positions. They've given them names. You don't need to know the names, but see the overall idea how they're positioning the patches. Okay, and so when you have a brown and white patch, they're going to be telling you where to put them, okay? All right, let's go.
Be placed, for example, at the sternum. That approach is helpful in some cases, but what could we do if the level of pain does not change with those placements? Finding the right direction. This approach will also require us to place an Icewave tan or negative patch directly to the point of pain.
See the brown
if we
patch.
think in terms of energy flow, we could attempt to stimulate that area in a specific direction. For example, if we place the Icewave white or positive patch at the top position of the tan patch, we would attempt to increase the energy flow in that direction. This approach is called the clock or Haltewang or cross method, where we basically need to move the white patch in a clock-like motion, starting at the top, then to the right, below, and lastly the left position, which are also called the 12, 3, 6, and 9 o'clock positions respectively. Now let's continue with our first scenario. After placing the white patch at the 12 o'clock position, we can wait for a short while, like 30 seconds, and we should pay attention if the pain has changed in any way. We say in any way, because the pain could actually decrease or increase its intensity. The good news is that both outcomes will help us during this process.
Stop.
Next.
So when they're playing with the patch like that, when they say place it, you don't have to actually attach it. You can just place it and be able to remove it and test. When you get the right location, then you stick it. You understand? So that's very important that you know that. And as they were demonstrating to us yesterday, you can actually even put it over your underwear. It doesn't actually have to be on your skin. Yeah, you can actually wear it attached to your underwear as long as it's close to your body. All right. Go on.
If after a short while we feel no change to the level of pain, we could move the white patch from the 12 o'clock to the 3 o'clock position. We wait again for a short while, like 30 seconds, and if we feel no change to the level of pain, we can move the white patch to the 6 o'clock position. Now let's say that the pain has changed at this particular location. The question then would be, in a scale from 0 to 10, 10 being the current level of pain, how much the pain has decreased at that stage. Let's create a scenario where the pain has decreased from 10 to 8. What could we do to attempt decreasing even more then? Take the white patch and keep the 6 o'clock position as a reference, and move it approximately 1 inch to the right. Wait for another 30 seconds, and if the pain has not changed, we move it again, but now approximately 1 inch to the left side. That has shown in many cases a further improvement to the level of pain. Now, what would happen if the position at the previous scenario, instead of decreasing the level of pain, increases it even more? This new scenario would sometimes require us to simply exchange both patch positions. The tan patch will go where the white patch is, and therefore the white patch will go where the tan patch was before. We just reverse the polarity. Doing this, it has also shown in many cases a further improvement to the level of pain. Now, if the pain we are dealing with has been there for a long time, or as we commonly call it, an old pain, sometimes the best thing to do would be to start all the previous process by placing the white patch directly to the point of pain and move the tan patch around.
Making sense? That's why we have
The
two
arrow
patches
technique.
for pain.
There is another variation to the clock method. This approach will also require us to place an ice wave tan or negative patch directly to the point of pain. Now, thinking like we shoot an arrow straight through the point of pain, we can place the ice wave white or positive patch directly to the opposite side of the body, following the arrow direction. In this case, it would be above the chest. Wait for a short while, like 30 seconds, and if we feel no change to the level of pain, we start the clock method on that side of the body. Now we start with 12 o'clock, then 3 o'clock, and so on, until we can identify any change on the level of pain while on any of those positions. Important note, do experiment different variations of all the concepts just explained. With this method alone, usually a great amount of pain reduction is achieved. Moving pain. Some of us have experienced while testing different positions that the pain will move to a different location. Now, in some cases, by moving the ice wave tan patch directly to the new point of pain would help, but usually the pain will move back to its original place, so we won't really like to chase the pain around. Here, it is an interesting way to go about it. Let's say the pain is moved downward from its original location. Now, while leaving the set of ice wave patches in place, we add another ice wave tan patch directly to the new point of pain, and place another ice wave white patch over the tan patch, or as we call it, stacked over. That simple approach has shown very good results when the pain moves around. We will also look into more advanced stacking techniques later in this video. Local, adjacent, and distal areas. With the clock method, we are placing a patch at a local area and moving another patch at adjacent positions. We could also test distal positions located at the extremities of the limbs. Again, if the pain is located at the shoulder, we could place an ice wave tan patch directly to the point of pain, and place an ice wave white patch to the extremity on the opposite side. In this case, for example, at the outer side of the right hand. We could also test by placing it at the top of the right foot. If no apparent pain relief is noticed after a short while, we could alternatively test by placing the ice wave white patch at the extremity on the same side. In this case, for example, at the outer side of the left hand. We could also test by placing it at the top of the left foot.
See that?
Pain blocking technique. If the pain is located at the mid-back, right between the shoulder blades, for example, we could place an ice wave white patch on the right side of the pain and an ice wave tan patch on the left side of the pain. That might work as a pain blocker and help relax both sides where the pain is located. Now, a very interesting recommendation is to move the same pair of patches a bit higher from where the pain is, and also move it to several locations below the actual point of pain. This simple technique could be helpful in cases like neck and general back pain. The same principle could also be used in cases like elbow, wrist, and knee, etc. The triangle technique. This particular technique could complement the previous blocking technique, as we will see. The idea is to create a triangular shape with the patches by introducing another patch type, like an Aeon patch, for example. Using the previous example, we could place a single Aeon patch at a higher position than the pair of ice wave, forming a triangular shape. One good example of this triangle technique is the knee pain protocol published on our site. What about a double triangle then? By adding a single glutathione patch at a lower area, we will form a double triangle. Do experiment adding another patch at the other side of the body, creating triangles in different planes.
So you see, you can actually have 4 to 5 patches at the same time, right? That's a question that everybody's asking. That how many patches can you have on at the same time? So it begins to answer that very interesting question. Go ahead.
Is the Digestive Issues Protocol published on our site. Stacking technique. This is also a very simple technique which has shown good results in cases of severe pain in situations like hitting your toe on a sharp edge or hammering your finger. The idea is to stack patches over the other and use them directly at the point of pain. For example, we could start by placing an Icewave tan patch directly to the point of pain, then by placing a Carnosin patch over the Icewave tan patch at the same position. Lastly, an Aeon patch over the Carnosin patch, which is over Icewave tan patch at the same position. This is what we call a triple stack, and it is published on our site as the Severe Pain Protocol. Final notes. There are many ways we can use all these concepts while patching ourselves or others. The interesting thing, though, would be to identify the most suitable patch placement, which will ultimately help us to deal more effectively in any case of pain. Very important. Pay special attention to be well hydrated. Drink good quality water in a regular basis. Remember that water is essential for our energy pathways to move. As you can see, this video includes a variety of concepts and useful techniques to use in pain-related cases. The next video will also deal with pain management, but with a different approach. Thank you for watching.
Thank you. Any questions? Any comments?
You know, it makes sense that they want to have the protocol where it's the opposite of the limb where the pain is, because in most research studies they show that the real pain is coming from the opposite limb of where they're thinking the pain is coming from.
Exactly.
Because that's where it generates the nerve damage.
Exactly.
So it's interesting that they found that
Mm-hmm.
catching protocol.
And I think that people are gonna.
I continue because what I have, and the science said the right side of the brain controls the left side of the body.
Yes.
Or
That's correct. Yes. So this is an example for what we have just been watching, and this one is for back pain, right? They show you a couple of options on where to place it. So if you use this plus this diagram that I gave you, you have it. So if you use this diagram and this diagram, you begin to identify where the patches are being placed, right? So the notes begins to make sense, right, as to what is being placed where. So what is GB?
GB4?
Yes. What's GB? Yeah? You know that gallbladder. And what is BL? We're going to learn that, right? BL40. Huh? It doesn't tell us. We're all going to learn that. But it has BL23, BL40, BL25. Yeah. Back location. Yeah. Yeah, so but you see the different patches because you asked the question to me, Nana, why we have a brown patch and the white patch. So you heard that, right? One is negative and one is positive, and you want to make sure that you're using both and aligning them. The reason why I'm sharing protocols on pain is because pain is really one of the biggest problems that everybody has a problem with, right? I was testing myself today because normally after I play tennis or during tennis I have my patches on. Today I didn't have my patches on. After I play tennis today, when I sit down, when I stand up, I can feel the cramps. I didn't wear the patch. I wanted to see whether it was the patch perhaps I was imagining, right? Yes, whether I was imagining that the pain was there before and now it's gone. So today I didn't wear it, but the pain didn't come back as it used to be. You know, the pain of just, you know, like you're cramping, right? But I can feel the pain now, right? That I haven't worn the patch all day today. So I took off all my patches this morning at the club when I was showering. because the patches are beginning to stick to my body and they're kind of irritating. I don't know, are your patches irritating you at all?
It itched a little bit, but then I got used to it.
Okay, so after you had worn it for how long?
Overnight.
Okay, because a lot of people are wearing it for like 3 days.
Yeah.
Some people are they don't want to take it off. They are saving it. They are saving it. They're like, how can I make the patch last longer? But nobody says you cannot use it longer, but they don't recommend it. Okay, but also you can put the patch here for 6 hours and move it to another location, right? That's still realistic. Okay, you can move the patch. And if it works for you that you keep the patch on for 4 days and it's still working, who are we to say you cannot do that?
I think it was the shower that made it irritating. Because I was fine until I showered and then maybe like...
Yeah, it starts itching. Yeah, perhaps you're right. I think showering with it is not a really good idea, but I can't help it. I have to shower, 2 times or whatever. Okay, so let's look at the next video. So I wanted to just share these videos, giving all of us, training also, an overview about patching with regard to pain. So they're going to go now for part 2, a different kind of technique. Okay? Go ahead.
Hey, hi there again. I'm Gabriel Diaz, and this is Dealing with Pain Patching Technique Series Part 2. And I'm very excited to present this next topic of the series, low back pain, specifically for chronic cases. And I gotta tell you that I was one of the main testers of all the techniques presented here, because I had severe low back pain and sciatica issues myself since my early 20s. And this is the very first area I became very good at with patches. I remember one case in particular back in 2009, where the father of a very good friend of mine had chronic low back pain for over 10 years. And after having dinner with them at their place, I started patching. And around 1 hour or so later, my friend and her father were dancing of joy because her father had no pain. Just by using some of the techniques included in this video. So I'll be leaving now with Dealing with Pain Patching Techniques Part 2, and I will be back on Part 3. Enjoy.
Hi, and welcome to Patching Protocol Training Videos. This is a video protocol that is part of our Dealing with Pain area. Patching procedure for low back pain, chronic cases. It is a fact that chronic low back pain is considered today a common symptom in our modern life, which unfortunately undermines our ability to work at our full potential, causing discomfort, like pain, obviously, physical stiffness, and perhaps tingling. In other words, it does interfere greatly in our daily activities. There are studies confirming that acupuncture offers a safe option to relieve pain, to restore functional impairment caused by low back pain, and therefore improve our quality of life. The good news is that Lifewave technology offers a great opportunity for us to deal effectively with lower back pain related issues. The question is, how do we go about it? Now, it is interesting to note that there are 4 main acupoints that have been tested and are most commonly used in cases of low back pain.
Let's look at those 4 points.
Governing vessel number 3, or GV3, governing vessel number 4, or GV4, bladder number 23, or BL23, and bladder number 40, or BL40.
Stop it.
Right below this video.
Okay, let's check. Where's GV23? I can see GV24 is in the front. Right?
It's on the head.
Yeah, it's on the head, on the front. So GV23 might be on the back. So those are the kinds of things. So we want to get that diagram, front and back, so we begin to identify. So go move the video back a bit.
That's number 3.
That's right. Okay, so GV number 4 is where? Well, we're going to find out. And then bladder, oh, that's the BL, right? Bladder 23. All right. Okay. So it's all at the back, right? So BL23 is at the back if you look at our former diagram. And you see BL25. And GV4 is really this point, right? In the midline of the lower back, in the depression between the spine and the second lumbar vertebrae. right? And then BL40, right? BL40, that's bladder 40, is right in there, the back of the knee. Then GB24, so we can begin to use the two diagrams, and then slowly we begin to build an understanding. Soon we are going to become like acupuncture specialists. We know all the meridian points on the body, right?
I have a structure for one from chiropractic I'm going to bring you.
Oh, yeah, no, it's okay.
I have one really good one.
In the car?
Yeah, in the car.
All right, go bring it. That's good.
I think we made a copy of
Oh, GB3 is right under GB4, right? Yeah. Okay, so go ahead.
Or BL23, and bladder number 40, or BL40.
Yeah,
Right below
BL40.
this video, you will be able to refer to a more detailed description of each point, but right now we will talk about the initial setup. Firstly, we place a glutathione patch on GV4 position. Next, an AON patch on GV3 position.
You see that?
Followed by two IceWave pairs.
It's going through this
One
diagram.
pair on BL23 and the other pair on BL40. Remember, WRTL, white to right, tan to left. We have now covered the four main and initial points, and to complete this initial setup, we will add two more patches. One single AON patch on governing vessel number 14, or GB14, and another single glutathione patch on conception vessel number 6, or CB6 position. The initial setup for us to work on any chronic low back pain is now completed. This will be a full image of all points involved. We need to make an important note here. There are simpler approaches to take in general cases of low back pain, which will be discussed later in this video. However, as you can imagine, low back pain has its complexity due to the amount of functional parts involved. With this in mind, we are attempting to create a base for chronic low back pain cases, and from there on, anyone could then test different approaches according to its specific condition. Also, according to our numerous tests on ourselves and others, the low back pain initial setup protocol presented here has shown great results in a majority of cases, without the need of going further or adding any more positions. Once again, it will all depend on each individual situation, and it will be a matter of testing it. Now, in cases where pain is reduced in some degree, but still yet to be at the desired level, we suggest the following two approaches. One, the Buttock Approach, and
The
two,
Buttock
the pain
Approach.
blocking and stacking approach. The Buttock Approach. According to the acupuncture literature, there are 4 other points located at our buttock, and all are related and recommended in cases of low back pain or lumbar region related issues. Those points from top to bottom are lumbar eyes extra point, bladder number 53 or BL53, bladder number 54 or BL54, gallbladder number 30 or GB30. Please refer below for more detailed descriptions and how to locate each point. The Buttock Approach procedure. With all the initial setup points in position, you could place an IceWave or energy enhancer pair on the lumbar eyes extra point, wait for 5 minutes, and then move it to the next position below. Do pay attention on any changes in the level of pain. If the level of pain remains the same, repeat the procedure at the next position below. If you find that at any of the 4 points the level of pain decreases even more, you could do the following. Let's say, for example, that at the BL54 position we notice a reduction in pain. You could then take a single carnosine patch and stack it over the IceWave or Energy Enhancer white on the right side at BL54 position. Then you could also take a single AON patch and stack it over the carnosine patch on the right side at BL54 position. Now you will have a triple stack on the right. Wait for another 5 minutes, and if the pain does not change, take the carnosine and AON stack and move it to the left side and over the IceWave or Energy Enhancer tan patch. The procedure has shown further improvement on the level of pain at the low back area. Alternatively, you could place 4 pairs of IceWave or Energy Enhancers at once, one at each position, and then move the carnosine and AON stack around at both sides in 5-minute intervals. Pain blocking and stacking approach. If the Buttock approach isn't favorable on your case, you could use this next approach. Now we will concentrate on local points located along the spine at the lumbar region. For this approach, we will need one full YH triple stack. That means one glutathione patch, plus one carnosine patch, plus one AON patch, all three patches stacked over each other. The pain blocking and stacking approach procedure. With all the initial setup points in position, locate the point of pain. For example, we could say that the point of pain is at the L4 area. Then we should remove the AON patch previously placed and place the YH triple stack at the point of pain instead. Now, we start moving all patches upward, one thumb width at 5-minute intervals. Going as high as T9, or right at the middle of the back. Then we could do the same procedure by moving downward of L4, also one thumb width at 5-minute intervals, and going as low as reaching the tailbone level. This approach is, as you can see, a more time-consuming one due to the large area to cover and the number of positions to move to. However, it has shown very good results in severe chronic low back pain and slip disc cases where other protocols didn't work as well. Other simpler approaches. If your low back pain case is not as severe, you can start by testing the following approaches. The spine bracketing approach. Take an IceWave pair and place the white patch on GV14. Next, place the tan patch on your tailbone. Alternatively, you can use an AON patch on GV14 and a glutathione patch on your tailbone, or even stack them over both IceWave patches. Whichever option you use, it's recommended to add another IceWave pair at K1 position to achieve a better result. The double triangle approach. Using the same spine bracketing approach, just add an IceWave pair on BL40 position, forming a double triangle, as you can see. Lastly, the double inverted triangle approach. Using the same spine bracketing approach, just add an IceWave pair on BL23 position, forming a double inverted triangle, as you can see. Alternatively, you can move the IceWave pair on BL23 upward or downward, a pain-blocking technique, testing which vertical position gives a more favorable result. All three approaches have shown good results in different situations. Final thoughts. We do understand the complexity of the information presented here, which might be a very testing procedure for new and even experienced Lifewave patches users. Please do take your time to comprehend all the mechanics of each approach. Also, we recommend reviewing this video in several occasions. Read all the detailed information below and try to get familiar with all acupoint positions used before you start patching. What can you expect from all these? A very fair and understandable question, especially for those new to Lifewave technology. If you had the opportunity to watch our first video series, The Lifewave Journey, we have suggested on video number 1 that the goal of Lifewave is to rebalance the energy flow in the body in order to make all systems function properly and thereby start the healing process from within. When dealing with conditions where imbalances have been progressing for a long period of time, as are a great majority of chronic cases, regaining balance will depend on several factors, like the approach used, consistency on applying those approaches, and the level of personal interest to achieve good results. We are constantly experiencing cases where low back pains take minutes to achieve a positive outcome. Others take hours, days, and even months to show a general improvement. Everyone has a different set of conditions, but those who experience good results are sharing some common denominators. All individuals are highly motivated to regain back their balance. They keep testing options till they find their most suitable procedure. They create a consistent habit and endured patience, focusing only on positive results. So as you can see, Lifewave technology opens a great opportunity for us all to find the most suitable way to regain our balance applying a few basic concepts. Our job is to understand how these basic concepts are applied on our own particular case. Patching Protocol wishes everyone a happy patching and a prosperous path to achieve their desired results. Thank you.
Thank you too. Right. So any questions, any comments? So I want to just finish by making a couple of statements. So one of the challenges that when we encounter every new technology is this issue of trust. Right? Does it work? It's the central question, right? Because we live in a world where there is a lot of misinformation and fake news and trickery and lies and all of that.
White lies.
Yes. Okay, all right. Don't get too excited now. Right? We love to be excited by distrust. But I think the question is that at the price at which they're selling the patches, when you don't have any other option, what's there to lose? Right? And so that's how I look at life. So you want to try, right? Because as he's talking about chronic illness, when we look at your hormone system, everybody has a different system. When we look at your immune system, right? When we look at your gastrointestinal, when we look at your stress response, when we look at your cardio, metabolic, and when we look at your, which one am I missing? Yeah, when we look at your muscular skeletal, right? So all of this, the imbalances around these 6 systems is what causes illness. And so if we were scoring, your imbalance here might be an 8, here it might be a 6, here it might be a 3, here it might be a 2, here it might be a 4, and here it might be a 6. So everybody scores differently across these systems. So when we're looking at fixing your imbalances, and don't forget that the musculoskeletal is where pain is expressed. Right? We feel pain in the muscle and in the bone and cartilage architecture. You don't feel pain in your immune system. You don't feel pain in your hormone system. So all of pain is expressed only in that one system. So when you have dysfunction across all of these systems, each of us is very different, and that's the point that they're making. So you're going to find, and that's why if you look at a lot of the work that we do, when we do testing around your genetics, when we do testing around your blood, around your urine, and your stool, we are looking for imbalances across all of these systems. Okay? That's why if you come and you say, you go to the doctor and they test only your blood will not show all the imbalances that are within the system, right? Your genetics are the imbalances that you came with. We call them your susceptibilities. Your blood is going to show your lipid, your metabolic, and some of the underlying issues. Your urine is going to show toxicity and your hormonal. And your stool will give us your GI and your cardiometabolic health, right? So if you don't look across all those systems, we might miss something and begin to fix things that may not be bad. Do you get that? And so what we want to do when we intervene with the 7 lifestyles, we're trying to create balance in these 6 systems. That's the work that this clinic does. Is that making sense? And what are those 7 lifestyle things? Your nutrition. And today you just bought some nutrients. Your sleep. Your stress. Your hydration. Your exercise. And your, what? Toxicity. So all of these things are really to bring balance into our 6 systems. Okay, this is really the core of the work we do here. And I need for all of my staff to understand this very clearly. We are doing the diagnostics so that we can understand the imbalance across the 6 systems. And then we intervene with the 7 lifestyle things to create that balancing back, right? And for some people, if they just fix their nutrient, everything is fine, right? As some people fix their sleep and the body will rebalance itself. Fix stress, right? Hydration. But all of these things need to be fixed. That's why we call it intelligent lifestyle design. Because you have to design it. It doesn't just happen. Right? You have to design when you drink water. Right? If you notice I'm drinking water a lot because I'm going to patch tonight. So I want to be properly hydrated. Any questions? Right? So I need that my staff and our patients understand the model very simply. It's not a complex model. It's very simple. You understand? And there is no doctor's office you're going that they're going to talk to you about this. You understand? I didn't know how important sleep was until I started doing the research myself. Because nobody ever really talked to me deeply about sleep. Right? I thought that I could just sleep how much and that was okay for me. Right? Nobody really talked to me about hydration. Right? How important it is for you to be continuously hydrated. Until I went to San Francisco. So let me tell you just briefly what happened about me opening this clinic. I went to San Francisco and at night in the hotel around 2 a.m. I thought I was having a heart attack. I had this pain in my back, and it wouldn't go away. So I go on my computer and I start Googling constant low pain, right, in that low back area. And it was like, you need to make sure you're not having a heart attack. So I get out of the hotel, and I take a taxi to the hospital, to the emergency. I got to the emergency around 3 a.m., They kept me there until 9 a.m. So they ran so many tests, but I'll just tell you how much the bill was. $15,000 when the bill came. Right? Luckily I had a... But they didn't solve the pain. So when I came back, I came down, I spoke to Elizabeth, and Elizabeth said, why don't you go to the naturopath that she had introduced to me in Newport Beach? So I said, I called the naturopath, I want to do a walk-in. So I walk in there, and I said, I have this pain. It's not going away. I even went to the hospital. They did X-ray, MRI, they do all these things, but they couldn't find anything. She said, oh, you're dehydrated. Come, let me give you an IV. She gave me an IV, and in 5 minutes when the IV started, the pain was gone. For $200. You know, that's when I really realized that it's bullshit. You know, I sat in that chair there for the 1 hour because one of the things she does is that she gives you a 1 liter IV. She doesn't give half a liter. And that's why I really recommend that most of our patients, we give them a liter IV. Because she says almost everybody is dehydrated. And so what she added was the glutathione plus magnesium. So that's why magnesium is really very important because it relaxes the muscle. So I was just tense. It was stress. So my muscle was just, you understand? And so that's what magnesium does. It just relaxes you. So it was sitting in that IV chair that I decided I was going to open my own clinic. I was tired of the bullshit. I just sat there and I was like, I could do this shit. Right? This is not that challenging. When I had come, they had pushed all those machines around me in the hospital, and they still couldn't tell what was wrong with me. And I walk in and she said, oh yeah, you are dehydrated. We'll put some magnesium in the IV, some glutathione, you'll be fine. That's what she said. Put me, connected it, And then I went that day and ordered magnesium. Because nobody had told me how important magnesium was for just relaxing your body. Some people even take it so they can sleep well. Because it really relaxes you. It relaxes all your muscles, right? So that's when we started looking at nutrients and just how important it was. Simple things like magnesium. Until that day, I did not know that magnesium was that important in just relaxing your muscles. You get it? So that's really the core of where this clinic comes from. You understand? That there are very cheap and easy ways to really become healthy without spending a lot of money. And when you understand all these systems, right, especially these two systems, the GI and the immune system, these two things are connected in a very bad, serious way. And when you have bad gastro, you have bad immune, and that's the source, really, of where everything collapses. You understand? There are many people who don't detox, right? There are many people who are even ashamed that they are constipated and they don't go to the bathroom properly, right? Because in our culture, it's like talking about poop is like, right? Nobody wants to talk about pooping, right? But it's the central issue of life. If you're eating and you're not pooping, there's something wrong, right? So you get it. Is this clear now? So we're not trying to make money. We want to get people healthy because you know something we know, that if you're healthy, you're going to tell your friends and they're going to come and get healthy too. That's it. It's very simple. And then you're going to learn how to manage your life using those things, right? So you won't join people having conversations to say that, oh, there's no need to take supplements. Do you know some doctors say that? That you don't have to take supplements? Huh? You don't listen to doctors? Good for you.
I have a question.
Yeah.
The blood test says that all the magnesium, potassium is good. Do we need to take supplement for those things?
Sorry, I don't understand.
If we do the blood test
Yeah.
and the magnesium and potassium, all these ones on the range was okay, do we need to take supplements?
Yes. The problem is because you're aging and you're always flushing it out. That is the point. You're aging. And the aging cell needs outside help. When you're young, your body is really working very well. But as you're getting older, the cells are getting older. They need help from outside much more than when you were 20 years old. That's really the core issue. Okay? So as you're growing older, your cells need more help. Okay? That's the principal thing. When you were 20, you didn't care. You hurt yourself or your knee, you heal immediately. But now at 60, you hurt your knee, good luck. Right? It's going to take a long time to heal because the cells are much older and it just takes longer period. Okay? Does that answer the question? Yeah, so it's not like an option. You're getting older, your body just needs more help. And then you saw we did the calorie thing, right? You cannot eat as much as you were eating before. So if you're eating so little, you need nutrients that's going to support that. You know, when I go to the restaurants where they do all-you-can-eat buffet, those university students, they come there and they eat for 2 hours. I eat for 20 minutes and I'm done. I cannot eat for 2 hours, right? But those students, they'll eat and eat. And sometimes I wonder where the food is going, right? They can eat forever. So anyway, thank you for coming this evening. I appreciate it. Any other questions before we close and have some refreshments? Okay, thanks a lot. Thank you for coming. Thanks, guys.